Hello and welcome to this episode of the More Than Just Mum. No, More Than Just Mum, the podcast. I got it wrong. It still meant the same thing. Today I am very, very excited. We have got Debbie Hancock, who is a finance director. All sounds very, very posh and exciting to me. Who's a little old me, little old business owner.
No,
And mindset. And me and Debbie met a few years ago now. I can't remember how
probably
long.
like maybe 4 years ago,
Yeah,
maybe.
I was going to say like 3 or 4 years ago. Online again, which is where I meet most of my friends and most of my guests now. And we have followed each other's journeys, and you've pivoted, you've changed, and so have I. And it's really, really great to have you on and just sharing your story with everybody that's listening today. So, do you want to just introduce yourself, say who you are, what you do?
So yeah, I'm Debbie Hancock. I'm a fractional finance director, which was hilarious as yesterday there was a big hoo-ha over what fractional meant, and some woman didn't like my flippant approach to it. Never mind. So I'm a fractional finance director and a wellbeing, so financial wellbeing coach, going into corporate, helping people and employees understand money more and working as with strategy and well-being within organizations.
So that word that you just said before you said finance director, what was it and
Fractional.
what does it mean? Fractional.
So basically, it's an American word. It's been used a lot in America. It's come over to the UK. It replaces like virtual portfolio, etc. So it basically means I'll be a finance director for a number of organizations at the same time, rather than being full time in one company. I'll maybe do a day or two a month in different companies. And I just went, oh, it's just fancy for part time, innit? This woman was not happy with what I said.
Oh, I love it. You see, come online and you find your tribe, and those that don't like you, they can jog on. Bless. Fabulous. So I've learned something already, and we're like 1 minute in. So obviously this podcast is all about inspirational mums coming on and sharing their story and their journey. So it's over to you. Share as much or as little as you want. Um, but I know that by us sharing our stories, that it is going to help somebody or a number of people out there who are maybe in a position to where we were and they want to be where we are. And it just gives them hope and that light at the end of the tunnel that actually they can achieve what they want. So over to you.
Okay, cool. So it is near enough 6 years to the day. I don't know the exact day, but I know it was around this time, 6 years ago, that I left my corporate job. I left with no idea really what I was doing. Um, I had no idea about social media. I wasn't even on it. I hated it. Um, I didn't know how to get clients. I had no idea. My professional body hadn't even approved me to do this because you have to get special approval to go outside corporate. And I left, went to Florida for a few weeks, stressed that again, I didn't have a clue if I was able to do it. Um, and then I started really in September 2019 when my son started school. Uh, got a marketing coach, got on social media, thought, ugh, don't like this. Started building a profile in the fitness industry, and then we know what happened in March. All the gyms closed, and I was like, I'm just going to need to go and be a farmer or something because this is just not working. I got COVID, was really unwell in the April. My partner was a key worker, and my son was off school, obviously. So it was a joyous intro to the world of working for yourself.
Building up that resilience from the start.
Yeah, like thrown in the deep end. But obviously, being a finance person, I'd kind of planned to not have any income for a period of time and had saved towards that. Picked up clients in 2020 and really built a presence within the fitness industry and known to be the fitness accountant. Made some good partnerships and built the business that way. But in 21, 22, I was like, this is not what I wanted to like. I don't really like tax. I do like it, but I don't want to do it all the time. And I discovered mindset, which, I thought was just a bit woo, a bit like, no, not for me.
I don't think you're the only one. I think there's a lot of people, and even from time to time now, I'm like, I need to work on my mindset. Bleh. I'm a bloody mindset coach. So I think it's a word that's bandied around quite a lot, and a lot of people have that, well, I don't need to work on my mindset, like
I was
self-development.
like, what's
Like,
this crap? Just
what is
like,
that nonsense? Yeah.
I was just like I'm telling you, you're paying me as the expert. I'm telling you to do X, Y, Z with your accounts. I'm telling you to do this with your business. Why are you not doing this? And
Hmm.
then my coach is saying to me, you need to record video, you need to do this. And I'm like, no, no.
You can swear on here if you want. It is accepted.
I was just like, no. And so I remember recording a video in the February 2020. Then I got COVID and could barely breathe. So that was a perfect excuse not to record any more videos. But yeah, I discovered mindset and I got more and more into that and wanted to bring it into the business. So started trying to combine the two, so strategy and mindset. And then sort of last year, I stopped taking on accounting clients to fully shift over into the mindset stuff. But surprisingly, mindset tripped me up a bit because I was like, but I'm an accountant. I'm a logical person. Like, I don't, I don't want to drop this identity I've tied to myself.
Mm.
And it did make me struggle a little bit to shift over. But now I've got this whole, I'm a finance director and I do the mindset and I kind of bring them together because you can't really have one without the other. So actually they do fit perfectly together.
Mm.
Just because other accountants are not doing it doesn't mean that I can't do it. But yeah, it took me a while to get over myself a bit.
Yeah, amazing. And do you know what? Like, I have obviously that is my like my niche is mums with mindset, and it's some people will come in and they will be at a different place in their journey, and they will like absolutely after a few weeks you notice a change in your shift, and sometimes it takes some people years. And it's like, come on, like you know what you need to do. Like, let's just do it. But and I think that's a really important point. Like I've got clients that I've worked with, and after 5 weeks, they just got the light bulb moment. I mean, those 5 weeks were a long 5 weeks. And we've had this client that I'm talking about who's one of my first ever ones, and she's like, I bet I was one of the hardest clients ever, wasn't I? And it, and now, she said she was born negative, and she's now training to be a life coach. And like you just don't know where this mindset work's going to take you. And if you feel like it feels like a bit of a slog, like keep going with it. Find a coach or find someone that's doing the work and like ask them for their tips. And I think that's another thing that we probably don't do enough of, or we didn't used to, was finding people that are doing what we want to do and go and ask them.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's also kind of like I'm quite an impatient person and I've always been very academic. So when I was at school, it's like I get told something, I get it, let's crack on. And I kind of expect that to happen in all areas of my life. And so when you're doing the mindset piece and you're like, hang on, why is this not now sorted? I've been doing
yes.
it 3 weeks, like it should just be fixed. And so having to realize that it's like a stepping stone. So you move a bit forward and you move a bit forward and you might not notice it at first. But then when you look back and you think, actually, what was I like 2 months ago? What was I like 2 years ago? Where am I now? You think, oh my God, I've absolutely massively changed. But when you're someone who just is used to seeing quick results, it can be quite difficult to be like, okay, this is just not working. Like, and you have to keep progressing. And it's a practice, isn't it?
Mm.
Like anything, even with logical stuff, you still have to practice how to do. Like with my son, I was going to do long division with him, and I was like, let's just Google that. It's like because you don't do it. But it's the same with mindset. If you don't keep going, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, you
Mm.
backtrack. So
Yeah, it's something that's come up quite a lot recently. And this was actually one of the things that held me back because I was it's like, well, I'm just teaching my clients the same thing, but actually, I now see myself as that reminder coach because we all do stuff, don't we, where it's working, it's working, it's working, and then we stop for whatever reason, whether it's drinking a pint of water a day, whether it's doing our social media every single day or scheduling it, we find something that works, and then we get results and we stop. So mindset is a it sounds like ugh, it's a lifelong thing.
Hmm.
And, it does rub off onto our kids as well. And, we don't need to go into massive detail, but recently you've had a bit of a curveball, and your mindset now, like, is completely different to what it would have been, what, 6, 12 months ago?
Yeah, I don't even know how long ago, but yeah, I lost a number of clients. So over a period of 7 days, I lost 30% of my revenue. So I work on a recurring revenue basis, and yeah, 30% just like walked out the door through various reasons. One of them is an accountant herself. She's taken the work in-house because as a way to balance her books. We tried all sorts of ways to do that. And I was the last major cost left on the profit and loss account. So she's doing it herself. We're handing over on Friday. Another one has decided to close her business. And, you know, previously I would have just, even though I've got savings, because obviously I save and I put money aside and I plan for these things, I still would have been massively knocked. Like it probably would have taken me out for a couple of days on the business, really upset, really down, blaming myself, even though logically I know the reason this has happened. I would have still been like, is it me? Is it because I'm rubbish? What have I done wrong? If I'd done X, Y, Z, but I didn't do that. I was just like, whew, okay. So obviously there was like a massive rush of energy because it's a lot of money. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, right, okay, actually, do you know what? This is the universe saying to me, get the fuck on. Like, I've been kind of getting in my own way a bit, and it felt like it was like a, you, you
A
know,
wake-up call.
yeah, your comfort blanket's going to be taken away from you now. You need to like crack on. And then I did have a bit of a week later, like I don't know what I want to do. And then someone made a comment to me on the weekend I rested, and it came in, her comment came back into my head, and I was like, she's so bloody right. Like, why? That's so obvious. Like, how did I not see this? And then the next day I was like, changed on my LinkedIn, changed on my profiles. Yeah, everything just changed in like a day. I was like, yep, this makes sense.
I love it. I love it. Um, I was going to say something else and I completely forgot what it was. But let's talk about resilience, shall we? Because, regardless of whether it's parenting, business, life, like we all need that level of resilience. And again, that is a skill that can be built over time alongside the mindset, and as you go through business, if you do have a business, but you are also a parent as well, I mean, the mindset's kind of the same, but it is also completely different because when you're in business, most of it goes quite smoothly. And things do as they're told, don't they? Most of the time. When you're a parent, you have to be resilient in a completely different way. Um, but I think it all does, interlink and it all does sort of combine together. And it's about, and I think I remember seeing a post a couple of months or weeks ago. Forgive me, I can't remember exactly. And he's like, right, this has happened. So I'm going to go and do this with my son. I'm going to take the time to be able to go and do this with my son. So has having a business and being a mum been plain sailing?
I don't think it can ever be the case. It's always a juggle, isn't it? It's like Friday, the school goes, oh, the class are doing worship Wednesday morning, and you're just like, well, thanks for the heads up. Like now I've got to change my day round so I can go and do worship. But at least I can do that. And there's times where like my son has come home and I've still been really in my head and he's trying to talk to me and I'm just like, oh, just go away. Like just
Yeah.
leave me alone. And you say something and you think, oh God, I shouldn't say that. And here's the iPad, leave me alone. Um,
Mhm.
and even at the beginning, because of COVID, we were home a lot, weren't we? And then
Yeah.
I start traveling for business, and he was like, "Mommy, don't go away." And you try to explain to him, like, if we want to go on the holidays and we want to do this stuff, then these are the compromises we have to make. And I do try not to do it too much,
Mm.
but he gets it now. He's just like, "Yeah, see you later, Mum." Oh, he's more like, "Good luck, Mum. Good luck." And I spoke on stage in December, and I had to remember the script. So I was walking around the living room like, I'm a money controller. This is this. Your stories, quotes from Ratatouille, and he would like repeat them back to me. And the other day I read something, and he repeated that part of my speech to me because he was my audience. So
Oh, I've got goosebumps. Amazing.
I've just tried to, I guess, incorporate into him and use it as a way to explain to him what's happening. Like I even explained to him, like, mummy has lost some clients, you know, it's quite a lot of money. But it's okay, like it's not a problem. But just so you know, this is what's happening. Because I feel like the more I speak about it to him, the more he can understand and learn. And it's not to put pressure on him. I'm not like, oh, I've lost money and it's a disaster. I'm just like explaining the process to him, and
Yeah.
so he can get business, he can understand the concept of business, and that it's up and down and it's not a reflection on, because he can be quite, take it quite hard if like he doesn't get things right. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you know, I've just lost a load of money, like, but that doesn't mean I'm crap. That just means that's what happens in business
It's life. Yeah.
and life. And, you know, it's a learning process.
Yeah. And I love that, I did the More Than Just Mum challenge last week, and it's all about mindset, and actually like the impact that the mindset work that we do has on our children as well, that ripple effect, because then no doubt they will go into school or home education or whatever they're doing, like when they're meeting people, they will pass that on, and it's that ripple effect. Like even so I speak about language a lot, and I've just posted a photo today of two plants, and one was like berated and bullied and not spoken to, a plant, right? And not spoken to very nicely, and one was spoken to with love and nurtured and watered, and like one was obviously dead and the other one was thriving. And if wow, yeah, language, what you're telling yourself, that's really important. If you've got a child that is constantly going, oh my God, I'm crap at this, I'm rubbish at that, oh, I'm so stupid. Like, if we know that, I mean, everybody knows that that's not right, don't we?
Hmm.
But if we can then go, well, why don't you try this instead? Or why don't you, you know, speak to yourself like you would speak to a friend, then we can pass that ripple effect on, and it does make a massive, massive difference.
Yeah, I try to think about when I think about when I'm talking to myself in front of him, and what I say, and I'm not more aware of it because he'll pick up on what you're saying. Like even if you have conversations, you think they've got their headphones on, they're gaming, he's
Yeah.
still listening. So yeah, try and think about more what I say about myself. So like when I spoke on stage, I forgot my words right at the beginning because it was just like so much going on, and we only had 2 weeks to learn it.
Oh
I
gosh.
was just like, oof. And then I got a prompt, and then I was like, I knew that. And then I carried on, and I was absolutely fine. And I was telling Lewis, because I was saying like, we all get nervous, we all get scared, but that doesn't matter. That we should still test ourselves to do things outside our comfort zone. And you can see his growth in confidence. Um, Over the last few years, he's definitely changed. Like he's never going to be like loud, and but he gets up on stage, he talks to people, he does things, and he kind of, like we talk about, like mummy gets up in front of this number of people, you know, it's scary, but
Yeah.
you know, it gets easier the more you do it.
Yeah. And look at you with your video content. Like, I know that you used to absolutely hate doing video content. And I know that you hated it, because I remember having a conversation with you. And now like I look at your videos like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like it's just, and your confidence has grown, and because you've done the work on you and
Hmm.
you've stepped out of that comfort zone and you've had these uncomfortable moments, like again, that ripple effect is just so, so powerful, because not only by you growing, like you massively inspire me, like just seeing where you were and where you are now is it is just really, really inspirational, and that's why I love having these conversations, because I always get, no matter how hot it is outside, I always get goosebumps.
I thank you very much. I do think back to like when I was in corporate, and I'd like sit in meetings, and I'd have to be like, I'd be the finance person, and my heart would be going do 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 do, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I've got to like speak up in front of all these people. And you know, I can't imagine doing what I do now back then. So you think actually by leaving corporate or being forced out, whatever, you you change so much. And actually, I'm really pleased that I've been able to learn about myself and change and grow, because I don't know where I would be if I was still in corporate.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. Well, thank you so, so much for sharing your journey and sharing with us, your experience. I always listen back to these as well, like because when I'm obviously when we're talking, like you don't you do have the conversation, you are in the conversation, but I always love listening back to these as well. So this will be going out on Friday, because I haven't got the
Action
bank that
taker.
I used to have, and I'm like, right, let's leave it till the last minute. And let's just put it out for Friday. So anyway, I don't know why I'm saying that because people will have listened to this and then at the end of it
There
it'll
we
go
go, and it is
coming
Friday.
out on Friday. Anyway, you don't have to be perfect, you just have to take action and make progress.
Exactly,
There
that's
we
it.
go. There's a lesson there. So Debbie, can you just share with everybody where they can find you on social media? And then all of your links and stuff will be in the, I love saying this, in the show notes below.
Cool. It is pretty cool. Do you know what? I never say that on my podcast. I'm just like, see ya, a wave. So yeah, I'm mainly on LinkedIn now. So Debbie Hancock ACMA, mainly on LinkedIn. I am on Facebook, but I'm not using it quite so much now. So the best place is probably LinkedIn or my website. Or listen to my podcast.
Yes. So what is your podcast called?
Get Financially Fit with Debbie Hancock.
Amazing. Fabulous. And I'm going to ask for a final top tip. Put you on the spot. Because I never tell anyone what's happening on these. So a top tip for growing your business, whatever, for whatever. It doesn't matter.
Well, when you said, like, when you done the whole mess up at the end and you went, it's not about being perfect, it's the same with money. For me, it's always start where you are, get started, and take small steps. So it's not about being perfect and trying to do everything that us money people talk about. It's start where you are and take small progressive steps. And that you'll end up with more money that way.
Amazing. Love it. That's one of my favorite quotes is just take the next step.
Yeah, just take the next step. There you go. That summarized it so much better.
Well, you can use that on your next podcast interview. There you go. Well, thank you so, so much for joining us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. My kids always go, Mummy, don't forget to say that at the end. Because
Again, never say that.
that's what these YouTubers say. But yeah,
A
I
big
really hope that you've
subscribe button.
enjoyed it. Say again.
You have a big subscribe button like pop up.
Oh no, I don't do any of that. This is literally like how it will go out. Maybe one day, when we're globally recognized and we're #1 podcast, then maybe I'll have the pop up and I'll listen back to this episode and go, oh, do you remember when? Right, anyway, let's wrap up. Thank you so much for joining us, and I will speak to you very, very soon. Take care.
Thank you, bye.